Good afternoon, everybody. This is really exciting and really fun because we've got 15 minutes to run through this, plus 3 demos. So fingers crossed, demo gods are good to us today.
Yeah.
Before we begin, I want to give a big thank you to the organizers and the volunteers and everyone for making this event possible. I think it's super cool. Everyone has put in so much work, and as a first time of DevOps, it's really cool to be here. You as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so thanks to everyone for being so welcoming. A lot of us have used different APIs, whether it be ChatGPT or Copilot or all of these different third-party services to work with AI, but there's a new trend that's happening, which is running AIs locally on your machine, and it provides a lot of benefits from not only not having a vendor lock-in and prohibitive costs to keeping your data controlled and private and secure on your own machine. And so we're going to cover a lot of things today, but me and Roberto at Red Hat, what we do every day is, as developers, we help other devs and organizations run their own models, right? Because in the past year or two, what's happened is essentially what used to take a lot of hardware resources and GPUs has now been shrunk and optimized for you to be able to run on your own machine different size parameter models that you might have already ran with Ollama, for example. And at the same time, there's a lot of tools that you're going to check out here that are all open source that are going to help you run models. So from running models on your own machine to running them in a bigger, say, production Kubernetes environment, say with VLLM, you're going to learn how you can take that model, download it from an open source repository like Hugging Face, and actually deploy and be able to use it. Thing is, on Hugging Face, there's over 1.5 million models, so you might be wondering to yourself, which one do I pick, and what are their use cases, right? And so we're going to teach you, hey, what models can you use, how can you run them, and how do you integrate them into your data, because the data that's useful for you, the PDFs, the documents, your code base is also useful for an AI model, and we're going to show you how to do this all locally here today. So let's get started. So you're going to learn about running your own LLMs, choosing the right model, and integrating this into your code base. If you'd like to check out the slides, highly encourage you to check out that QR code. We'll also have it at the end of the session. And we're going to go through 3 demos here, model serving, code assistance, and a little bit of agentic AI, all using models that we're going to be running on our own machine. So who's excited? Woo! Awesome. So the big question is, why is everyone kind of running their own AI models? This has been a big trend this and last year because there's a lot of advantages. As developers, we kind of want things to be running on localhost, right? Yeah. We don't want to have to work through different types of authentication, and we want to just be able to integrate it in our inner loop of development, right? Similar to how we run containers, like I'll just spin up a MySQL or a NoSQL database. We can do the same thing with an LLM and actually have an API that we can make requests to. At the same time, for organizations, there's an element of data privacy. So not having data leaked to a third-party service or another model so that they can train their model is a kind of a big deal. And you might have seen some headlines recently about data being leaked to AI models. Now, if you take a look at the stack, this is the model landscape for the ML and AI and data landscape that someone put together last year. So you can imagine at this point last year and now a year later how much this has grown. And so you probably feel like this guy right here where you're kind of confused, you know, it's overwhelming. But the thing is, there's a lot of open source tools and projects that we're going to show today that'll help you get through this. And so this is actually a photo of a Roberto.
Yeah. For me, I'm just struggling with all of these models and all of this stuff. Can you help me?
Of course, of course. You know, this is circa 2023 when he's trying to manage his tokenizer and his prompt templates and compressing LLMs so he can run them on his machine. And so let's take a look at some of these open source tools before we actually go into the demo. So how many of us can see this photo and kind of identify what this is? Hoping most people. Sweet. Okay. Nice. So if you played Smash, whether it's, you know, the OG, is it N64, I think? Okay, sweet. Or the new ones on the Switch, which is a lot of fun. You'll know that every character has their own strengths, unique abilities, and it's pretty similar for the AI tools and technologies and frameworks that we're going to be taking a look at today. Whether you're getting your models from Hugging Face or running them or using them with your data, there's all of these different projects that can help out. So a lot of us might have used Ollama before. Feel free to raise your hand if you have. Awesome. So
Great.
Ollama, yeah, sweet. It's a great entry point. And it's created by the same people who did Docker, right? So it's a PM from Docker. And that's why if you do an Ollama pool right, to get that model and then run that model. It's very similar to a Docker pull, a Docker run. And there's a little bit of customizability with the model file, so you can import your own custom unique models. Another tool that we're going to take a look at is VLLM, which is a way to kind of scale things up. Because let's say you have concurrent requests and you want to do continuous batching from all of these users in your organization. VLLM is the open source kind of de facto standard to run these in production, exactly. And so it's a UC Berkeley project for a wide amount of accelerators. And another tool is Ramalama. So this allows you to take a model and run it in a container so that you don't have to worry about any of the dependencies or abstractions. Essentially, it's just using Podman or Docker to pull from Hugging Face or Olama or any OCI registry and then run that model. And then the last tool that we're going to take a look at today is the Podman AI Lab, because a lot of us are developers who want to build out, say, a RAG or agentic application, but we're not familiar with data science concepts. And so this puts together boilerplate code so you can create a POC and then iterate from there. So, Roberto, I have a question for you. You know, what specific model should we be using?
It's a very good question. So we have plenty of options in here. If you go to Hugging Face, we have 1.5 million of models between open and closed models as well. And obviously, we have these situations again that we are struggling in order to see which is the best model for our use case, right?
Right. Well, so I was thinking, you know, we should probably run the best model, right? How could we do that?
Well, you can try, because big is always better, isn't it?
Yeah.
In this situation, when you need to run this type of models in your laptop, you will end with these two situations. Putting your laptop on fire, we don't want it to, because we need to have our laptop running for this demo, or having this type of laptops, huge ones and very beefy. And neither of these situations are ideal. So in this case, most models for local usage are quantized. And it's a way of compressing the models. And it's a technique of compressing the different LLMs, reducing the numerical precision. We are taking these high precision weights, where the information and all of the knowledge of the LLM has, and we are putting all of these in lower bit formats, that we are reducing the memory footprints, making the models easy to deploy. And the benefit is that you can run the LLMs on any device, not only in your laptop, also things and use cases like in the edge. The result is faster and lighter models. And we have this benchmark that we are running Llama 3.1 compressed and uncompressed, and we saw the performance speed up and also this ratio of compression. And the good thing is that can also run not only on GPU, can run on CPU, unlocking a lot of use cases. So you don't have to use these GPUs. You can run it as well on CPUs. And we have an open repository of quantized models. If you scan this QR code, you will have a lot of ones to try with a lot of formats as well, different algorithms that runs on hardware from NVIDIA and others, and cut the GPU hosts in half, ready to deploy inference, optimize checkpoint. And we will see this in action in a few minutes.
Cool. So
what about the data?
Yeah, what about the data? We've got the AI engine. We can run the models. We've kind of talked about which models we could use, but yeah, how do we integrate to our data? There's a lot of tools for this, and this is the demo parts that we're going to show. But for data interfaces, right, you've got anything LLM, Open Web UI, LM Studio, just to name a few, where you can import your PDFs, your spreadsheets, your data, right, that's valuable to you, and have that converted into embeddings automatically, so you don't have to create a whole RAG pipeline. Now, the second demos we're going to be showing is code assistance, right? How many of us have tried vibe coding before? Okay, nice. It can be a little pricey. I had a friend do an hour of vibe coding, and it cost him $70 with Claude. So, you know, let's take that $70. Let's go to the casino with it. You know, save that money, and we're going to show you how to run your own model, so you can save that money and keep everything private on premise. And then lastly is building apps, right? This is going to be where we show the agentic part, where you're actually using LangGraph or LangChain, or maybe it's MCP to connect to your model and also connect to tools and start building out stuff that's really awesome.
Sweet.
So let's do it.
All right. So we have the first one. Everything is open source. You have this code repository in here. And the first thing that we need is to go to Podman AI. So if you wanted to take a picture, brilliant. we will go to Postman Desktop, and in here we have the extension. We enable the extension called AI Lab, and we have our model running in here. You can have a bunch of them, and also you can import it. So you can download the model from Hugging Face or elsewhere, and you can use this in order to deploy your own model just with 2 clicks. And we have already our own LLM running in here. We are using Granite 3.2 8B quantize because we are using GGUF. This is running also on my laptop, so I'm using my laptop to run this one. And the first thing that I'm doing is going and creating one specific playground that is a way of interacting with my model. And if I go here and I'm saying, talk like a pirate, we have seen this, and it's hi from the Devox UK. And this will use, hopefully, our model in order to say, ahoy matey, welcome to the Devox UK, quant gathering from tech enthusiasm like ourselves. Brilliant. So we are back on track. We have our service in here. But sometimes we don't want it to just go to the playground, isn't it? We wanted to go also to one tool that allows us in order to do certain things. So we will do the exact same question just for see what's going on, and we will show you how easily it's connecting your own LLM to the Podman AI lab that it's running. So it's just this. We are going to the LLM, and we are grabbing this inference endpoint, just copying it, and we will put it in here. The AP key is none because we are not having authentication, but you can run it. And on the other hand, we have this model that it's in here. So it's just copy-paste, and that's all. We are using the generic OpenAI API. Once we have this, it's lovely because we can interact with our model, but sometimes we wanted to do RAG, that is Retrieval-Augmented Generation. Because if we just go and ask around, give me some talks around Devox UK 2025. I'm interested in knowing more around that. The model will not know because has static information. So we need to provide some information to the LLM because has just the knowledge that has been trained until 2021 or 2022. And in this case, for example, the most recent Devox UK has been in 2021. I guess that we are in 2025.
Yeah.
And the next following thing is to try to do RAG. In this case, the thing that we done, it's we updated this. And the thing that we're doing is that we are updating one document. And this document has the following things. So we went to the docs and we feed them with this. That is the session. We just grab it and we picked everything from the tags by sessions, and we feed all of these PDFs to the model. And the model is using the embedding. So we put all of this information to our model in order to not only use their own knowledge, also use the knowledge from this PDF in order to answer the question. And as you can see, it's waiting a little bit, but we can also show the results in action. So we expected that because sometimes needs to go. All right, brilliant. Write once, deploy everyone, and also the speakers. So it's actually going to the information. It's grabbing this information, and it's just 2 clicks. So I need to just attach a file, and I can start and talk with my information. So it's providing me with a lot of different talks around that. And the most impressive part is that also it's giving me the citations. So if I go here, I can see the PDF that I've used in order to feed all of this information. And also, we can go and see this in action with the code assistant because I'm a developer. So the thing that I installed, it's one extension that is called Continue. And this extension that we will do, it's we update and we are using this model and also API-based and provider. So with the thing that we will do, it's just start to asking the model that write me a fast API, and hopefully we will answer this, and also we will explain afterwards the code that we are showing. So we are asking the LLM to write a Python fast API example with 2 roots. Everything that you are seeing here is local. Everything is running against my local LLM that is running on top of Podman AI lab. And as you can see, we have these fast API examples with 2 roots. And also we can show and we can explain the whole code. So if I run this and I say, explain me this code in detail, we'll ask also the LLM, and it's helping me to start coding. And afterwards, the thing that we will do is showing one app super quickly that will be an agentic app that we built. And as you can see, we have this, and we will have an explanation around that. So it's giving me the explanation around the different code snippets, and also the health check endpoints, and so on and so forth. And last but not least, one example around, we have the backend. This is an agent, and we wrote an agent that it's running on locally using LangGraph, and also we will use Streamlit, and we are using tools. So if I run this, just give me a sec, I will run it. Brilliant. We have our model in use, that we are using this model, and also the enabled tools. And we will ask some questions around that. So give me the large rivers in the world and some of the distance. Hopefully, this will be running. All right. And you can see just back to back and in here. And as you can see, it's grabbing this, it's calling a tool. It's grabbing, for example, DuckDuckGo in this case, and it's pulling all of this information, and it's adding the distances. And last but not least, we will also show the last prompt that, in my case, is pretty cool. So, and it's how to calculate, for example, the area of a circle by a radius. It's a very complex task. And hopefully, if the demo respects me, as this, and as you can see, it's giving me the whole calculation. So it's using one tool that is Python Ripple. I'm using Python in order to calculate this. It's calculating everything, and it's giving me not only not only the process, also the answer, and the final answer is also provided by my local LM. And with that, yeah, we finish 3. And by the way, we have also the DevRocks party afterwards. So come by, say hello, and if you have any questions, we will be around. So,
yeah. But thank you guys very much.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.